I'm just gonna start off by saying this, and only this. The story is going to be a rather long one, but I truly believe that if I don't speak my mind about what happened, I honestly believe my brain will melt on my fucking ears. I seriously can't understand the motives of some people. The very fact of the matter that people extremely fucked up in the head are allowed to get away with shit that they shouldn't really pisses me off. It also makes me wonder what the hell the higher-ups of freaking Nickelodeon Studios were even thinking when they hired the people that they did. Because there's some seriously messed up people that need nothing else more than to be locked up in a goddamn asylum for the rest of their life. I know that might sound rather harsh, but believe me when I tell you that the kind of things that I've seen that people have actually animated and wrote could make any man's head spin off their fucking shoulders. One of these abominations is a SpongeBob episode by the name of Patrick's Diabetes. By now I'm sure that most of you who are reading the title of the video itself are most likely laughing, and I don't blame you at all. It is kind of funny, and a bit of just desserts for all the shit that Pink Bastard has done over the past few seasons, but I digress. Now, the way I actually came across this episode was kind of illegal. Basically, with the help of a friend of mine, I hacked into the system of Nickelodeon Studios. Yes, I'm not exactly proud of the things that I've done, but you can only learn from your mistakes and not repeat them again. My intention for hacking the company still isn't very clear to me, even to this very day. I guess if I did have to make an assumption, I was most likely trying to find some dirt on the company that I could expose, or some shit like that. What I do know, however, is that when I had finally finished the hacking process, everything that had to do with Nickelodeon was in the palm of my hand. I browsed around a lot on that site, and I found some rather neat things, like what new shows were going to be created in 2016, which were all shit by the way, the names, addresses, and phone numbers of popular animators and directors, and finally, a couple of selections that dived into legal notices, controversies, and rather mundane kind of crap. The first thing that I wound up searching around on was a section about the show of SpongeBob SquarePants. Now I know I'm not the only one here, but I freaking love SpongeBob. Yeah, the newer seasons are crap, but still, I freaking loved everything about the show. And to have secret documents, audio projects, and hell, even video footage for future episodes was like a winning lottery ticket. So, to put it bluntly, I went through everything that had to do with SpongeBob, browsed scripts that were either finished or not, listened to some audio footage of future songs, and even got to see some gossip about Steven Hillenburg as well. Then I found a section that I was the most eager to get into, the video footage. Almost immediately as I opened up the spot where the videos were at, I was met with not a whole lot, surprisingly enough. Maybe about 50 or 60 videos in total, but that was about it. Originally, I was initially disappointed, but all that changed when I started downloading the videos to my hard drive. It may not have been much, but hey, something's better than nothing. Once the downloads had been completed, I exited out of the hack site and went to go and view my treasures. As I expected, most of the videos were just full episodes of the show, with a couple of deleted scenes thrown into the mix. Now, this would have been great for me had I not already seen a majority of those episodes. If anything, most of the episodes there were just storyboards, which was still kinda cool, but nothing I was really expecting. I huffed a little bit at my disappointment. I guess karma really did come to bite me in the ass for fucking around on a studio website. I was just about to close my download files when I saw a video that was located on the top of the videos folder that I hadn't checked. It was crudely named patd1.mp4. I checked the length of the video and it was a long one, 36 minutes and 56 seconds to be exact. The thumbnail was way too small for me to read, but I will admit, this piqued my curiosity on many levels. Not wanting to waste time just staring at a blank computer screen, I quickly double-clicked the video and it started up. The first thing to hit me was the SpongeBob intro, and when I mean that it hit me, I mean that it was really fucking loud. I hadn't put in my headphones, I guess. After lowering the volume to save my eardrums, I grabbed the nearest pair of earbuds, lowered down my volume, and popped them into my computer, and then proceeded to continue watching the episode. Like I said before, the episode started up with the usual theme song and intro. Once that had ended, the scene cut to the title card of the episode with the phrase, Patrick's Diabetes, written in pink and red font against a red and black background. Suspenseful music also playing in the background during the segment. I kinda laughed a bit at the title. I mean, it was pretty morbid, but at the same time, kind of awesome too. This actually had gotten me to think for a little bit. Was this episode something that the animators wanted to create to add a bit of a darker tone to SpongeBob? If this was it, then I wasn't really looking forward to seeing whatever fucked up shit that the creator decided to make. I've seen enough of new SpongeBob episodes to know that when it comes to dark episodes, the staff and crew are not really too great at doing it well, with the sole exception of the episode The Health Inspector. I braced myself for what I was about to see, knowing that it might be like the Splinter or even a pal for Gary, but 10 times worse. The episode started off with a panned-out view of Bikini Bottom, with the ever-so-lovable French narrator starting the introduction. Ah, lovable Bikini Bottom, a place of wonder and of joy. Let us see what is new with our friend SpongeBob SquarePants. The scene then faded in for a bit before going right back to show SpongeBob sleeping in his bed. Then, without a warning, the foghorn sprang to life, causing the whole house to shake in the process. SpongeBob yawns and jumps down from the bed. "Good morning, Gary!" SpongeBob calls out in his joyful manner. "Meow," Gary replies as he pops out from underneath SpongeBob's bed. "Oh, Gary, today's gonna be a great day today!" SpongeBob says as he jumps around like crazy to a nearby drawer. "Meow?" Gary asks, confused. "Today is a day me and my best buddy Patrick get to enjoy an all-you-can-eat ice cream buffet at Goofy Goober's Ice Cream Party Boat," SpongeBob said, pulling out 2 tickets from the drawer. "Meow, meow, meow," Gary said, slithering up to SpongeBob. "Oh, come now, Gary. Patrick isn't fat. He's perfectly healthy," SpongeBob said, walking over towards his closet and getting himself dressed with his trademark outfit. "Meow," Gary called out, this time a bit more aggressive than earlier. "Gary the Snail, that was very rude. I'll have you know that my best friend Patrick is not a giant walking pink strawberry ice cream cone with eyes and legs. Now you take that back, mister," SpongeBob scolds. "Meow," Gary said, obviously getting a bit more cocky than before. SpongeBob gasped. "Gary, how could you say that about him? Patrick is not a giant chewed-up wad of bubble gum," SpongeBob says angrily. Gary seemed to be having a bit too much fun roasting Patrick, but just as he was about to make another comeback, SpongeBob shushed him. "I will not tolerate any more of your sassy behavior, young man. Now if you excuse me, I have a friend to go and eat ice cream with," SpongeBob huffed. SpongeBob then walked out of the room, down the stairs, and then proceeded to walk outside. Gary was shown looking out of the window, snickering as he wrote down a few more jokes in what I assumed was his joke book. The screen then cut back to SpongeBob, who was walking merrily down the road to Patrick's rock. SpongeBob then made his way towards said rock and began to knock on it. Patrick immediately popped out of the rock like a cannonball, smashing Squidward's house in the process. "It's Sunday, isn't it?" Squidward said with a sigh as he sipped his tea. "Come on, Patrick, let's go! Goofy Goobers opens up in less than 5 minutes!" SpongeBob called out. "I'm coming, SpongeBob!" Patrick yelled out as he grabbed a large string that was, quite literally, attached to his butt and pulled it, causing him to launch like a cannonball all his way towards the ice cream shop at a speed of light. "Wait for me, Patrick!" SpongeBob called out once again. SpongeBob then laughs as he runs down the street and off camera. The scene then transitions over to, you guessed it, the inside of Goofy Goobers, with SpongeBob and Patrick waiting in line with a bunch of other fish. The scene then cuts to show one of the workers unlocking a small red ribbon that led to a large buffet table filled with various ice creams and toppings of all sorts. "The buffet is now open for business. Please have your tickets ready." the cheery young fish said. SpongeBob and Patrick then proceeded to go top gear, literally, with SpongeBob hopping on Patrick's shoulders and driving over customers. Various comical screams could be heard, including the infamous "my leg" quote as well. After mowing down a crap ton of Bikini Bottomites, as well as slamming their tickets into the Ticketman's face, they proceeded to make the biggest ice cream sundae that they could manage to hold in their sundae glasses and head off to the table. "Thanks again for taking me to the buffet, SpongeBob," Patrick said, shoveling a giant thing of ice cream down his throat. "It's not a problem, buddy. Anything for you," SpongeBob winked. The two proceeded to eat their ice cream with little interruption. The bubble splash screen pops up, and it's at that point where we see the aftermath of the buffet. Ice cream is splattered all over the place, on the walls, on the ceiling. Hell, it was even in the inside the cracks on the wall. After displaying the scene of ice cream carnage, it cuts back to SpongeBob and Patrick. SpongeBob's stomach is bulging out of his pants, while Patrick, on the other hand, looks extremely obese. "Wow, Patrick, that hit the spot," SpongeBob said, burping. "Yeah, it was. Oh," Patrick groaned. "What's wrong, Patrick? You feel sick?" SpongeBob said. "No, it's..." Patrick began to gasp for air, and within an instant he fell to the ground with a heavy thud, the ice cream glasses shattering on the floor on impact. SpongeBob rushed over towards his friend, freaking out. "Patrick, are you okay?" SpongeBob said, shaking his best friend. Patrick said nothing for a bit, before he turned over on his back and let out a loud scream of agony and pain. Patrick's eyes rolled in the back of his head, and once he had stopped screaming, bile from the ice cream was pouring out of Patrick's mouth like a fountain. "Somebody call an ambulance!" SpongeBob screamed as Patrick continued to cough up ice cream and mushed up toppings. Two ambulance workers immediately walked up towards Patrick and proceeded to carry him into an ambulance with SpongeBob following them. The screen then faded into itself for a few seconds before fading back into a newer scene. SpongeBob was sitting down, rather impatiently, in one of the chairs in the lobby. Then a doctor, who was a completely new character, by the way, a blue anglerfish with matching blue eyes and doctor outfit. "Mr. Squarepants?" the doctor asked. "Doctor, please tell me he's okay," SpongeBob asked worriedly. "He's alive," the doctor said in a rather serious tone. SpongeBob was about to let out a yay of joy or something along those lines, until the doctor grabbed SpongeBob, pulled him close, and snapped, "I didn't say he was all right. He's only alive." SpongeBob went silent for a moment before looking down at the floor. "Look, kid, I'm sorry for snapping, but I don't want any foolishness right now. Your friend is in a diabetic coma at the moment. We're not too sure when he'll wake up, but until then, we're going to need to keep him here for some time," the doctor said, wiping his brow. "What? What happened to him, doctor?" SpongeBob asked, almost on the verge of tears. "I'm afraid that your friend is in a severe diabetic condition. He has type 2 diabetes. As of now, he's on dialysis for the time being," the doctor responded. Can I see him?" SpongeBob asked with tears in his eyes. Sure. Now, before I say anything, I need to go ahead and let you know that I've taken the liberty of calling over Patrick's parents as well to discuss certain matters with them," the doctor responded back. The two characters walked down a narrow hallway in complete silence for a few seconds. "I'm gonna warn you, kid, your friend is in a very bad condition as of right now. He's not gonna look like how he usually looks. You might, honestly, want to turn around when you see him," the doctor warned. "I understand," SpongeBob said. After the brief conversation, both the doctor and SpongeBob walked up towards a door where Patrick was supposedly in, and slowly opened it. What I saw next almost made me shit my pants. You know how the animators of SpongeBob tend to make some drawings a lot more realistic and freaky than usual? Well, this scene was a lot worse than anything I'd ever seen. The entire hospital room was a deep shade of red from floor to ceiling. In the middle of the scene itself was Patrick laying down in a hospital bed. His eyes are open wide and they're glassy. His body is rendered much more realistically, looking as if parts of his body were peeling off of him, and also next to his chin was what I assumed to be blood pouring down it. I made sure to show the image itself for anybody who actually wanted to see it. This scene in and of its own self was just a small taste of what was to come for that episode. I will admit though, after seeing that image, it immediately burnt itself into my brain for a lasting nightmare that would come in the near future. Despite being disgusted, I continued with the video. SpongeBob could be heard in the background, gasping in both fear and with pity for his best friend. The doctor himself starts to talk with SpongeBob about the various issues regarding Patrick and what was going on at the moment. All the while, the scene itself didn't cut away from Patrick's blood-covered face. After about 30 or 40 seconds of seeing nothing but Patrick's disheveled, bloated, disgusting face, the scene finally cut to show Patrick's parents walking into the room. "Oh my goodness, Patrick!" Patrick's mother yelled as she went to caress her son. "Don't!" the doctor snapped. "Not until he's stable." Patrick's mother backed away slowly from Patrick's still bleeding face, with a look that just read complete and utter despair. "Oh, sweetie, we didn't know you were this sick. We would have helped you," Patrick's mother said, with cartoony tears dripping from her face. "Actually, Mr. and Mrs. Starr," the doctor butted in, "I managed to look over Patrick's records as a child, his pediatrics, and let me tell you that you knew he was sick. You knew he was sick all along, and you did nothing," the doctor growled. "Wait, what?" SpongeBob said with a look of confusion and shock. "SpongeBob, here's a little history lesson for you with Patrick's parents. You see, it wasn't that little ice cream buffet that you gave him that gave him the diabetic shock in the first place. In fact, it was one of the long, drawn-out diet of grease and other fattening foods that his parents had fed him over the years that caused him to have this little event." SpongeBob looked shocked. Then he turned his head over towards where Patrick's parents were standing at. The two starfish parents looked completely guilty and shameful. "What?" SpongeBob said gasping. "Fine!" Patrick's dad yelled out. "Yes, we fed him some healthy food every now and then. So the hell what? He's our kid, and we can feed him whatever he wants. It's because of you two that my friend is even in this hospital to begin with," SpongeBob screamed back. The argument continued between the parents and SpongeBob for at least a good minute, before the doctor immediately shut them up by snapping again. "You all need to freaking calm yourselves down and shut up. If anything, you're both guilty of leading Patrick in here," the doctor said. "You all helped him get into this mess, and you're all going to help him get out." The scene then cut back to the horrifying picture of Patrick again, with Patrick's mother saying, "You're right. You're right." Patrick's mother could be heard crying in the background, as it slowly zoomed in deeper and deeper into Patrick's face. I ultimately had decided to pause the video and stop it for the day. I couldn't handle any more of that godforsaken picture. But more importantly, I wasn't even halfway done with the video, but taking a look at my watch, I saw that, well, it was already late. I needed to get to bed. I'll make sure to update this tomorrow when necessary. But trust me, it'll continue to get worse from here on out. Hello there, my little shadows. It's me again, your master, the Shadow Reader. I hope you all enjoyed this little tale of horror. I honestly hope I didn't traumatize you too much after this. If you're new here and want to become one of my little shadows, then hit that subscribe button down below, and also make sure to turn on post notifications so that you can be the first to watch my brand new content when it comes out. Until then, sweet dreams, my little shadows.